Boom! We are live. We are live. We are back again. It's a Thursday night, so we mix it up a little bit on a Thursday night, and we go with the Let's Rumble podcast. And this, as you can see, looking a little different tonight. Got a different feel, got a different vibe. Because why? Well, for the first time in maybe many years, well, maybe since Rose, that we actually have a rabbit as one of the most talked about items or people or characters or whatever the fuck we're going to call it out there. So we're going to talk about what this rabbit means. Obviously, you can see where the rumors are. We're going to talk all about the clues. We're going to talk all about the nonsense. Why? Because everyone else is doing it. So we're going to do it too, damn it. And we're going to do it better than everyone else. So thank you for being here. It's a Thursday night. You know who that is. You know who I am. We're going to talk about some Bray Wyatt and what this could all mean right now. Let's go. Ding, ding, ding. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the weekly Let's Rumble podcast, and we are the Wrestling for Life Network. I am KJ White, the Every Night Delight. I hate it when I call myself that, but the Iron Man of YouTube, Mr. Every Night. And I am joined by the wonderful, the one day older, formerly known as a birthday boy, the troublemaker, Mr.
Yes, the man who's slightly older, but none the bit wiser, Mr.
None the bit.
But no, I think like we talked about it earlier today, this has really been the biggest story going on in pro wrestling right now. It's the first time in a long time we've had a whodunit, a actual rabbit hole mystery, I guess.
Dun, dun, dun.
Right?
No. So folks, if you don't know, what have you been doing? But obviously in wrestling right now, there's a lot of talk. It's been going on for about a year as far as Bray Wyatt's concerned, but it's amped up. I mean, this has been a crazy week for wrestling. We had 3 title changes last night in a completely different show. And literally, we're still all kind of amped about this. We're amped about what this means. And it seems to at least the next stage, some hope finality. I feel like a Friday night SmackDown at the end of September might not be the night we get finality. But we're getting clues. We're getting hints. We're getting led down a path. And it seems like 9/23 is the day we'll get some more answers or more questions, Nick.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 9/23 at 9/23 on that episode of SmackDown that we're either going to get another clue, but I feel like at this point, everybody kind of knows who it is. I know there's been some other suspects and everything, and we can run through those if you want.
Yes.
But I think at this point, all signs point to one person, and if Papa Paul builds this up this much and then doesn't deliver, ooh, that's a rough one to take on the chin.
Yeah, and nobody likes to take one on the chin. Well, I wouldn't say nobody, but anyway, that's not the point. Folks, first and foremost, I hope everyone out there is having a wonderful week. Friday Junior in the books. So hopefully you're feeling good, you're feeling safe, everything's happy and well in your world. Tomorrow, Friday, we hit the weekend. Don't forget, we are doing a triple header tomorrow night. We got 3 shows, 1 stream. And we are not going to stop. We are going through Rampage. I don't know why I went that order, but we're going through Rampage. We're going through SmackDown. We're going through Victory Road from Impact for the Impact fans like my man Victor. It's going to be a fun night. Lots of wrestling, multiple screens. We're going to cover it all. And if we get, vitamined enough, we might just choose to stick around.
All right. We might be on for a bit longer than we think and everything. But yeah, nobody covers professional wrestling like we do. Where else are you going to find 3 shows? Not 1, what? 2, what? 3, what? But all in one stream, what? So absolutely, folks, you want to make sure this is the place to be for pro wrestling content.
Thank you. Yeah, but that being said, we'll just quickly click on a couple of these fine fellas and ladies. Well, mostly fellas, but Hagen, yo, what's up? The Rumble is going to be good tonight, folks. Thank you, me. Let's get ready to rumble. So Hagen's ready to go. Victor seeing bunnies already. And let's start with that, Nick. Let's start with the fact of the beginning of all this. almost, all that time ago, and we've been talking about it for about a year. So March of 2021, I believe, Bray Wyatt shockingly gets released from the WWE for having a bad attitude.
Yeah,
and this is where all this begins.
Right, just like everybody else that actually tried to stand up for their own creative, he got labeled as difficult to work with. And that was very much one of those of what is WWE, what is Vince McMahon thinking of releasing a guy like Bray Wyatt? And is he going to go to AEW now? What's he going to do? We heard the rumors about him possibly getting involved in movies and all that, and he's just done with pro wrestling. And then you start to see the rumors start percolating back towards him maybe getting back involved in wrestling.
Well, yeah, and I mean, as much as we say rumors started circulating, Bray was facilitating a lot of the rumors. He was nudge, nudge, wink, wink, and I think he's. I could be wrong. Haven't spoke to the guy, but I imagine he's enjoying this little trip. Like even just not being involved in wrestling and watching the stories and watching the rumors and watching the buzz just because he tweeted something. He might wake up one day, feeling good, just sitting around with the fam going, I think I'm going to throw something up. And it might be innocuous as anything, but everybody's tripping over it.
Oh, yeah. He's the man that's built his star power so much and not been involved in any company, not been in any ring, not worked any sort of angle. Literally just this man with Twitter has built his star from, I guess the guy that Vince thought he was worthy of getting released to now he's the hottest commodity in pro wrestling. And we've even said when he signs with WWE, it's a game changer.
And I mean, for me, he's like the third most talked about wrestler and hasn't stepped a foot in an arena. That's insane. Like for me, MJF's been talked about. Roman Reigns been talked about, and Bray's been talked about. Those are the three big talking points. Now Cody's in there somewhere close, but I mean, this guy hasn't been anywhere near wrestling, and he's the most talked about. And it might not imagine it's not him.
Well, that's the thing. I think that would be the biggest letdown, especially in this new Papa Paul cerebral era of WWE creative. If you have, and that's the thing though too with this isn't the first time, and we've been live talking about it, to where we thought Bray was going to come back, to where you get any bit of spookiness, any sort of glitch, any sort of anything, and you instantly jump on, it's going to be Bray.
Yes and no. Like, I mean, I don't necessarily know that's always true. Because I mean, I believe there was things along the way that at some point, and we'll talk about some of the clues that's been some of the breadcrumbs, so to speak. But I think because they were so, I think at some point they'll all kind of fit together better. And we'll go, oh shit, that was something. And I've seen people try and still tie it into the Edge videos, that those videos weren't for Edge, but I was like, no, but then they had the walkout thing. What do you mean? So I don't know where we're going.
Well, this one I think is the one that strongest, is the strongest case for it being aimed at Bray coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. Then I mean, I know how skeptical you were of the original, some of the other.
Well, the Edge videos is what is, I guess, where you and I differed when it comes to that being tied into Bray. But now I'm drinking the full Bray Kool-Aid. I'm fully on the Bray-spiracy train.
It's funny because now I'm like, no, but
right, maybe.
This again,
let's go.
We've talked about this. I mean, so he goes all that time not being here, and then it was heavily, heavily, heavily rumored. And I remember being on a live stream for the Halloween, what was AEW's Halloween fucking show?
God only knows.
I can't remember what the fuck he called it, but the Oogity Boogity special. And I really don't. I remember sitting on that stream waiting and waiting and waiting. Like, the dude's going to be here. Like, it makes sense. Like, lines up. His release, his 90 days is over. He's a free man, and it just never materialized. Now, generally what happens in that case is those wrestlers fade off, and we stop talking about them. But Bray continued, and then it was rumored maybe AEW. And then all of a sudden around Rumble, it was like, what if he came back at Rumble? And you're like, whoa. Because you thought, especially with Vince at the helm, that it was a slam dunk. that this was done. And he would never go back to the WWE. Tony Khan was going to get one of the biggest, baddest wrestlers out there as far as name value goes. And as that was playing out, here comes Papa Paul. And now the game has changed.
Pun intended. But I think the one thing that WWE's always had to its advantage when it comes to signing somebody like Bray is its production that it can do. Like, I don't think, even with, say, how The Fiend was done, or when we got Cult Leader Bray, I don't think those would have been done the same or as well in AEW.
No, that's the thing, and we'll get to that as we move on here. But let's dive into the meat of the matter. I know we're doing a little bit of a history lesson, but let's get to the meat real quick. Big shout out to Dale. Thank you for being here again. Victor, what's up? What's up? What's up? General is back. We'll talk about the stable in a bit, but yes, lots of stables and possible stables been thrown around. Yeah, I mean,
you need the push pins and the string and everything to set up, okay, this ties into here and that ties into there.
Right. Listen, and I'm going to go on the record now. It's early in the show, but I'm going to throw it out there. I still want Bo Dallas. Somebody give me Bo Dallas.
What if Bo's the White Rabbit? What if Bo's the front runner? Like,
right?
Maybe he's like the
he's like the
one
one
before the storm of Bray.
Yeah, right. Interesting. Now, before we dive into what made everybody talk this week, and I know Dale mentioned the ratings was over 1 million again, so that's good. We're doing good things over at AEW. It was a decent show, solid show.
Right.
Some missteps, but that's part of the game. And yeah, I mean, I think this was a big part of why we're getting this week. It was a big week for AEW. Then we saw Paige show up, dude. Bray would be a nice counter. Check.
Yeah, I think that's what we talked about even last night. We had Paige return, so that's what, or Saraya at this point. So that's what got the big rating spike, I feel, for AEW. And I think Papa Paul is going to parry very nicely with a White Rabbit.
Yeah, it sounds funny when you say that. What's up, Chris? How you doing? Victor has found the rabbit. Or at least
I'm of course, like, who else would be the gatekeeper to the rabbit hole with this whole thing right now than me?
You're on hold duty. Pause. Pause. Anthony, how are you tonight? KJ and Nick, with his track record of selective and horrible booking of the women's division, do you actually trust TK? Anthony, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Are you even paying attention to the show we're doing?
Well, we do normally debate everything, but I think there's kind of one.
I think we're on
a
one-track mind right now. No, I'm teasing Anthony as always, but we will talk about TK tomorrow during Rampage. It's 2 hours, and we'll be covering it.
Yeah, we have plenty of time to talk about AEW.
Yeah. Bray, Cross, Scarlett, Dexter, Alexa, Rhea, or Liv. All of them? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rhea or Liv. Rhea's not joining, so that's out.
Yeah.
But you want to talk about that in a little bit. But do you want to talk about the tweets, or do you want to talk about the video and the QR code first?
We can talk about the video and the QR code first, if you want to do that route. Yeah.
Kofi, what's up?
What up, Kofi?
General, I like that. There you go. He's got some ideas. Victor, Brian Myers ladder match for Impact Digital Championship. There you go. There you go.
Even when we're not always, covering wrestling on the screen, we're covering wrestling for us.
There you go. Bo got arrested. Yeah.
Did he? Heard that.
I didn't hear about Bo getting arrested. Let me know, Michael.
Yeah, no. Are you sure that you're not mistaking him for Velveteen Dream?
How did we make that mistake?
I don't know. He's the only man I can think of lately that's been getting arrested quite frequently at this rate, too.
Right. Hassan says hi there. Good to see you. Boss Monster, good to see you as well. Everybody is talking about Bray Wyatt's big news thing. Everything that MJF is on away from AEW's gold. The guy is truly next level. Sorry, Bray. Yeah, but here's the thing. I thought MJF would be all the headlines today and we wouldn't be talking about Bray. Maybe we'd be doing an MJF show and how he became champion.
I don't even think MJF's the biggest talking point coming out of AEW Grand Slam.
Nope.
And I'm one of the biggest backers of MJF. I think that they misplayed that whole situation. And I think that's what we talked about last night was one of the biggest fumbles for that show.
Anthony's gonna be like, "What the fuck, man?"
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all good. Now, here's my thing, real quick. I called the Jericho situation, and it was exactly what I said it was. He had the t-shirts ready. He had the fucking social post ready to go. In the minute 1, 2, 3, 8.
Yeah.
You know, like a low rain, it just ran right at it. He couldn't help himself. So anyway, back on topic. But yeah,
right.
I think it's hard to argue. I mean, all week people have been watching stupid videos. And even when there was people, there are people, they didn't go anywhere. That, I mean, had like a wrestling channel that is now like officially a Bray Wyatt channel. They just produce Bray videos like during all that Edge stuff, and people are like breaking it down and zooming it in. And we'll even talk about the Extreme Rules poster at some point. But Nick, let's get into what happened on Monday.
So on Monday, we had the QR code that showed up behind Austin Theory, which if you use that, which again, it's interesting now, everybody in wrestling is doing QR codes and all of that. But you had the little video that played that you can kind of see in the background that we have there that said, can't remember the exact, or come play or follow me or something like that.
Come with me.
Yeah, come with me. And I've even mentioned about how the red circle's over the play button in the center of that. But then the next thing that it does is then it pulls up a gang of Hangman, and it actually initially spells out demon, and then I think it's like XYZ or something as it's guessing the letters. And it asks who destroyed the world, and the answer is you did.
Dun, dun, dun. Now, that's not all, though, because once you got the answer right, the screen starts blinking. You get your 8-bit, kind of music on the way out, and we get 9:23 with the dot, and then we get a blink, and then we get 9:23 with just one dot, implying that on September 23rd at 9:23, they want us to know something at minimum.
Right. That's going to be
the assumption there. Right? So, I mean, it's definitely now that's where everyone went off. Now everybody's comparing the text to his t-shirts. They're looking at the rabbit. They're looking at the red circle around the dot.
Well, and there's also the red circle around the hourglass too in the corner of the Hangman.
Yeah, there's so many little subtle things that you can look at, but I need you to go for 1 second for me, Nick. I got an issue.
Okay.
Did he leave? Ladies and gentlemen, botch of all botches. Hilarious. I needed Nick to jump on and cover me.
Oh, sorry.
He went home.
Oh, I realized that after a second. All right, you're good. So, my bad. Misread the situation.
You're like, bye.
Right, I misread it. My fault.
Where's the Rumble one man? That's what we're looking for. There we go. Yeah, no, I need you to cover.
You're good.
Sorry, folks. We completely hit a snag in the road.
There. Whoa. Yes. So there, we'll just go like that. There we go. So yeah, talking about the everything that pulled up with the QR code. It's initially the first thing that it pulled up was feed your head with the white rabbit going down the rabbit hole. Much obviously playing into the whole white rabbit. That's where really, I guess, we skipped ahead a little bit of what started this all off was WWE's been playing White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane during commercial breaks, during, when they're changing out stuff on the ring or anything, and all the lights go out. And then right when it gets to the feed your head part, it starts flicking red with the lights, which everybody, again, well, I think initially everybody thought with the White Rabbit that it was going to be Karrion Kross, because you had those few people that remembered Cross having the gimmick as the White Rabbit in Lucha Underground, but he's since come out and even on Twitter pretty much said, I appreciate everybody that's, remembers that, but I don't think that, that's going to play to something in WWE, or that's where WWE is going to go with this. And I think that that's honestly the good call. I was the biggest detractor, I guess, when everybody initially, it's Karrion Kross because of the White Rabbit, but then he just debuted, so why are we going to change his gimmick up that quick, that fast and everything? And then so bringing us up to the QR code, that's when it had the feed your head. And then that's where it went through the whole Hangman video where it said, who killed the world? And you did. And people have even now tied that back into a promo or an interview that Bray did with Michael Cole, to where he was going on saying, I didn't make the world the way that it is. You did. And so that very much seems like a noted callback, because Bray's the type of one that's going to do something like that, that's going to always have these little Easter eggs and these breadcrumbs, just remember, Fireflies, I'll always light the way. You just got to let me in. So there's that. And then, and like I said, two people, there we go. You can see it right there. And, even with the lettering there, that people have compared that to old Bray Wyatt merch that he had, where it's got a sheep on it and everything. I think we might have that picture later on. But yeah, and initially too, the Hangman the Rabbit spells out demon, which everybody then ties into the Fiend. So I think that there's a lot of clues with this whole thing that I think more than any other situation points specifically towards Bray. We even can go back as far as going through even the stuff that Bray's just put out there on tweets and everything. Like, people have reached as far as Bray tweeted a Highlander gif. I think that's his most recent tweet on there. And there's a Highlander novel that's titled White Rabbit. People have brought up how Code Orange, the band that did Bray Wyatt's theme song, has also done a song called Swallow the Rabbit Whole. It's just so fascinating to me, and I think that that's what's made this so compelling, is that this is the first time in a long time we've really had but we can bring that up in a quick second if you want to pull it up, KJ. Actually, can I do that? There we go. So even with this, so going back to with this tweet here, to where Wyatt was tweeting about anyone on here know anything about Self, Arkansas, which is a little hole in the wall place in Arkansas. I don't even think it's an actual town. If you are a local and can navigate to the Devil's Hole, please let me know. And when you Google about the Devil's Hole and Self, Arkansas and everything, it brings you to this website. That's the first thing that pops up on any Google search or anything for it. And obviously you see the White Rabbit there in the corner. And I believe even the moderator on this website or on the post is also titled White Rabbit as well. So it's so fascinating how many little, it's the weird Easter eggs, and we haven't seen that in such a long time in pro wrestling, that make this so fascinating. It's, literally, it's like an escape room in pro wrestling. It's wrestling's whodunit. Let's see what else we got here. And yes, that's like I was mentioning earlier about how the lettering from the Hangman game, like you can see there on the left, matches old Bray Wyatt merch. Vince is yes, see, there's a nice comparison. I'll get that off the screen there. So see, you can see the literal comparison there. That's the thing, is there's too many little nuanced things that just, it can't all be coincidence. And I'll touch on it. Well, no, I'll wait till KJ gets back. I'll try and get through some of these comments. Vince is the White Rabbit. Ask Adam Rose. He holds the truth. Aha! That is the other fun angle, I guess, in the meme that's come out about this. And like I think KJ mentioned in the intro about how, well, WWE did already have a White Rabbit. Maybe it's just, secretly it's Adam Rose coming back, and it's all just going to be something like that. I think that would be a big thing. That would be a failure on Papa Paul's kind of ledger so far. I think you can't. Hi, sir.
Hey, sorry about that, folks. Technical difficulty. When it happens, it's fun when these live streams go sideways, but
we live in the left, sir.
That's it, right? So,
and we are literally in the left.
We are totally in the left. Our left. Maybe you're right. I have no idea. But that being said, Nick, I heard what you were talking about, and I saw some of the comments. If Vince was still booking, or if this was 1993, there is a good chance it would be Adam Rose. Adam Rose is funny, 100% possible if it's back then. Or I think the people will love it. No, Vince. It can't be something. I don't think it's going to be a letdown. Triple H knows what he's doing, and he's been guiding, kind of re-steering the ship. I think some people feel like it's not happening quick enough, but I mean, this will be a completely different game.
Oh yeah, I would say this is plenty fast. I mean, we're still. I said on this stream before about how I could see this. You open the WrestleMania after Raw with the Firefly Funhouse intro and all of that, and where we could be getting this Friday. That I think that's pretty fast, if you ask me.
I mean, with all the anticipation and with all the again, if you were paying attention to wrestling, you had an idea that. With the Edge shit, they were like, let's say they completely weren't trying to toy with people and make you think it was something more than it was. Let's say it was just a coincidence.
Oh, well, no, I think there was some in there that they were trying to sink the hook in.
Right. So if that's the case, which I mean, it possibly could be, for me, it's a tricky one in the sense of, they saw the buzz, they saw the groundswell, they saw people get excited and start, oh my god. So yeah, I mean, if you're paying attention and you're a smart business person, you're like, well, why don't we actually do that? Why don't we actually give them clues? Why don't we push this issue a little farther? Because people are losing their mind, and they were utterly, for the most part, I don't know, fans out there, let me know, am I the only one that was highly disappointed with the whole Ed situation?
Well, and even not just focusing on the Ed situation, how do you feel that it's very much like some people have even said of an ARG, or it's, an escape room, all of that. It's that you have to literally find all of these little Easter eggs, and it's funny, it's a White Rabbit, but you have to find, there's all these little clues that you can take one way or another, and that they go back, not just like last week, they can go back months to where people are tying stuff in.
Well, that's the thing now, and where you talked about, and I heard some outlandish shit. I mean, people on the internet were like tying it into that's an O shape, and his mom is from Ohio, and she loves Cheerios. Like, it's crazy. I mean, and one of this one's a little bit of less of a reach, but I mean, the guy who made the mask. This comes out on his social media. This bunny in between us, not us.
This artist, the artist that was involved in the design for the Fiend mask, also did this drawing and had again put up with it. Feed your head with the kind of distorted text and everything like Bray's done, and then very quickly also pointed out that he's also drawn for Killer Cross as well.
Dun dun dun.
Right, but it seemed just pretty interesting and very much all tied into one. It's not directly because he doesn't work for WWE, but I think everybody can very much easily make the jump from point A to point B.
On this one, yes. I mean, for me, I know I made fun of some of the theories out there, but for me, when this comes out, I mean, dude, randomly feed your, that starts screaming. That's been in my head for 5 days, by the way. Ever since
absolutely.
Just walking
I
around.
have White Rabbit just playing on a loop in my head, just
right?
constantly.
So that lyric has been, and again, it's that same tone, it's that same feel where you're like, if it's Brayish, but for that to be, you know, that wording, and then he put out a post again, it could just be him capitalizing. You know what? I'm a businessman. I want eyes on me. I'm gonna put out a creepy bunny and use feed your head, and Bray's gonna laugh about it because he's my buddy, and that's it.
And even then, it still could just be concept art, because I guess we could get into this question later, but I will ask this, you know, and throw it out there for now: of do we get the feedback, or do we get a new kind of character or anything? And like I said, we can answer that later on. But
I mean, yeah, we can get to that. But I mean, we have a couple options. I mean, some people have talked about him coming back in something like this kind of form,
right,
or this kind of masking, which would be interesting, right? If he was in fact a White Rabbit.
It's a scary rabbit. It's a spooky rabbit. That might be one of those of hard to tell people. I watch a show where a spooky rabbit beats people up.
Yeah, you're like, what are you watching? You're like, the rabbit's here.
Oh, yeah.
Now we do have, you know, the Eater of Worlds, the you know, the kind of the OG. Yeah. Still one of the best things in wrestling history. I got goosebumps when you did it. Look, my hair stood. Literally, I swear to God, because I instantly went back to, you know, that mania. And
every time I can't hear that song now and not think of Bray Wyatt. Cult Leader Bray, I think, and that ties into I guess if we want to play it into with the whole bunny thing and imagery too as well. If people have thought about what if this is a faction? What if this is the Wyatt Six? This is, you know, we get people that are actually from the Firefly Funhouse, that are Ramblin' Rabbit, that are Mercy the Buzzard.
We want to talk about that? That's awesome. Let me pull that up real quick before I put the graphic back on. But yeah, I mean, and I know a couple of the fans, and if you guys have a fantasy faction involving Bray Wyatt as the leader, or
what's your fantasy Wyatt Six?
Pause. So anyway, a lot of people have surmised, and I mean, it's cool. It's kind of a cool concept in the sense of the Firefly Funhouse coming to life. However, here's my first question about it. You look at that ensemble on the screen. That's dominant. It's a next level. You have three bona fide world contenders and an up and coming world contender.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you have two former world champions and one who we thought instantly would have been booked right into the world title picture right out of the gate.
Well, now let's start with him then. Braun Strowman makes his big comeback on a Monday Night Raw. The ratings pump. You know, even on our channel, we saw a spike out because of Braun. Braun came out. Right. He almost gave us a little bit of the Hulk Hogan treatment over. You know, fans were happy to see him. You know, one of my favorite things is he was asked about, you know, you said, you know, how do you feel about wrestling? And, you know, you didn't want to go to another company. I never went to another company. I worked for me. And that's I've only ever worked for me and the WWE. I'm home. So I was like, that's funny, because we knew there was some negative vibes between Braun and the WWE.
Oh, yeah.
So now he's all, you know, back in the fold, and he's like, no, I didn't go elsewhere.
Right.
No.
I never said that. That might have been Strawn Broman, but not Braun Strowman said that.
Brown Snowman.
Yeah, Brawny the Strowman said that, not Braun Strowman.
Wascally
Wabbit. Yes, that's what we're talking about tonight, folks.
Pink Floyd, High Hopes. Another classic. Are we tying that into something?
Not sure. But so how do you feel about if Braun was, do you think that they would put him in a faction right now?
But also some people have surmised the fact that Braun isn't really doing anything right now. Like, he didn't come in with a purpose. He came in a couple weeks and beat up people. He's gonna dummy Otis on Friday.
Right.
And so people are like, okay. Now, other people have actually said, one of Bray Wyatt's recent tweets was giant killer. They're like, what if they come back? What if Bray shows up? You know, Braun's wrestling Otis, and that's what Bray's back to do, is fuck up Braun for some reason.
Could be.
Is that less appealing?
No, I don't think anyone's even thought about what they're going to do with Bray when he does come back. We just want him back.
I don't know about that. This seems methodical as shit. Like,
well,
this guy, like,
have you thought of the first feud you want for Bray?
me? Oh,
Yes.
you mean us? I thought you meant internally there, but
oh no,
I almost envision like the conversation of being like, okay, Bray, we want you to come back. Da 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 da. Okay, we can give you this much money. Cool. So what do you want? Well, I want to do me. I want to do my thing. What do you want? And he just like drops a notebook on the desk. This is what we're doing.
right? Just
there you
pulls
go.
out files.
Right, just drops them on him. This is right. I've been thinking.
I have a few ideas.
Is anyone else tripping out about the backgrounds? Like every time I look at Nick, I get slightly hypnotized and dizzy. I didn't think this playing out when I started this. But yeah, no, I mean, we have that possibility. I mean, I love the idea that people have coined him as the pig. It's funny.
It's a little. I know it was supposed to be a play on him, Wyatt's whole Husky Harris gimmick,
right?
It's just kind of funny that they tie that to Braun,
right? It's funny. Now, what if the pig, if what's the pig's name again?
Huskus.
That's right. It could be Bo.
Well, that's an interesting thought on this whole thing is too. We could still get Eric Redbeard. We could still get Bo, yes. But I almost wonder if now that because Brody's passed that they don't want to go too much towards the Wyatt family stuff.
Now, I'm not a smart man, but there's only 5 people on that picture. So, who's missing? A lot of people have speculated Alexa Bliss. She had a sore leg. The Hangman was missing a left leg. I don't know if that's a reach. Are we reaching on that one?
I know. I think the lights did flicker or something.
And do you remember a few weeks ago she just randomly threatened to do a Sister Abigail but didn't?
I don't remember that. But so do you think that they could do that spooky Alexa again like well now? Because it wasn't that great before, I feel. But she is still holding on to Lily and all of that. So
that's the other part of this is like, why still have Lily? How does Lily? I understand people are going to say, well, KJ, Nick, it's just because it's a marketing thing. So they don't need to explain it. They just want to make the money off the sales. Maybe. Very valid, but I don't know, man. Like
they just bought like 10 million of them and they're like, well, shit, like, we still got to move them. So get out there.
You're carrying this around till we're sold out.
Right.
So. Now, and at one point, as far as I understood, they were selling phenomenally.
Well, yeah, it's just creepy to me. It's creepy and stupid.
And I have the feeling the vast majority of them weren't bought by kids,
Yeah, no.
Like they're like,
a lot of, yeah, you get it.
Right? A lot of our demographic going out buying Lily dolls, and I don't know why.
Right.
That being said, Victor says, what if it's just the debut of Dexter Lumis since he's been popping up like a rabbit? Like when he popped out from under the ring. Ooh, he gave us Bugs Bunny.
You wascally Loomis.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. Well, we saw too, even on that graphic, to where they potentially Loomis is Mercy the Buzzer. We've questioned on every episode of Raw, what does Loomis want with the Miz? Why does he still keep messing with him? We had the whole he snuck into his house. We don't quite get where that's going. So again, like you said with Braun, maybe he's just kind of floating through something until Bray pops up.
It's a good point too, right? And then there has been no rhyme or reason to why any of this is happening with Dexter, really lacking a purpose. But
right.
I'm like you said, maybe it's just a case of they're all all holding on because they're waiting. I don't know if I truly buy that, but I've said from day one, if anyone's watched my stream or a stream with me on it, you would see just months and months and months of me going, Bray Wyatt's coming back with some people. He's not coming back alone. It won't be a solo act. He's not doing it alone. He's coming with a team. I still believe that.
Now, the only question I guess I could counter that with, and it's much like what I talked about with the whole Edge thing, is does Bray's spotlight shine too bright on anyone that he's around? Like Cross just came back. Cross could still be a huge deal. They're putting him with Drew McIntyre. Does Wyatt's spotlight coming back outshine Cross's? Like AEW's done a lot lately of they end up having too many things working well together at once that they outshine each other.
Now here, I mean, valid argument, but in the sense that, I mean, if this is some portion of a team that you're getting moving forward, it kind of instantly gives everybody credibility in that group. And if you're a casual fan who doesn't really know who Karrion Kross is yet, you definitely really trying to figure out Dexter Lumis and what he's all about. Of course, we all know Braun. It might give him a sense of purpose and direction, but how long does it last? Because all of them are going to want some type of title at some point. You can't share the belts.
Right. But that would be a hell of a feud. And we had like that ring over the timepiece on the Hangman game. Maybe Bray's first feud is with Cross.
See, now the interesting part about that for me, Nick, is you had McIntyre Roman going at it. Karrion came out flattening McIntyre, still, taking shots at Roman as far as, I want Roman. But his beef seems to be heading towards McIntyre. Then if you bring another person into the layers, and then again, if you bring Bray back to go after Roman, I'd really hate to see him go under.
Yeah, Bray doesn't need to go for the title if he comes back. In whichever way he comes back.
Yeah, and I mean, the only way I think is if the group internally at WWE looked at each other and said, Roman doesn't need the belt to fight The Rock and it be marquee. That's the only way that would change. Now, do they feel that way? Do I agree with that mindset? Not at all. But, I mean, they could come to that conclusion.
But what if you counter that with, say, Cross, though, him in a feud with Bray? That's marquee right there. Bray's someone that doesn't need the belt and is marquee.
True. Like, I mean, they could headline, any of the pay-per-views. I don't think they're going to headline a Mania at this moment. But, to your point, they're main eventers for sure. They're heavyweight contenders for sure. So, yeah, I mean, that's the interesting thing about the group. But if they come in and absolutely dominate, maybe none of them go after a belt for just a little bit, where they just run amok.
They just rock everything.
Yeah. Like they're trying to have like the NWO, like in the sense of trying to have a match, they fuck it up. They're trying to do commentary, they fuck it up.
They're just a psychotic NWO.
Yeah, they're twisted NWO, just running ripsaw over everybody.
Yeah, running roughshod over everybody. I mean, that it would be a killer group, I guess, pun intended. But it's interesting. Of this could just be another hint, or this could just be someone in a faction with Wyatt, and now that we get this Alice in the Wonderland tie-in to where, say, we have a White Rabbit character, we have a Cheshire Cat character, we could have a whole slew of people.
Well, that's the thing. Now I've also seen those. This is why this is so fun, guys. We could be here all fucking night talking about this stuff. Literally, dude, like they're going like, all right, well, who's the Mad Hatter? Who's the Bunny? Who's the Queen of Hearts? And just so on and so forth. And I'm like, well, now we're getting a little carried away. I think they've given us enough breadcrumbs. I like the whole Alice in Wonderland tie-in. I like the White Rabbit tie-in. The song, Jefferson Airplane, a song I've heard many times growing up, and there we go. All of a sudden now it means something. Right. I can't get it out of my head.
It's now like how Limp Bizkit's My Way is now forever a wrestling song. Just White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane is now forever a wrestling song somehow.
Why out of all the songs that was the comparable?
Because WrestleMania 17 X7.
Oh no, yeah.
But even with the, I guess, more of the Alice in Wonder tie-in, the last
I
action
thought you were
figure.
gonna like Alice in the Wonder Times. I'm like, that's a different movie, bro. Stop
Yeah,
it.
no.
It's a different rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's a different rabbit hole.
Pause.
But no, the last action figure released by WWE of Bray Wyatt is him in the Mad Hatter outfit.
That's true.
And I've seen some people that have tried to look into the Firefly Funhouse when Bray was in that outfit and the dress that Alexa was wearing at that time.
Okay, where did that go?
Of that it might be the same kind of pattern of just tying Alexa to it, that it might be the same kind of checkerboard pattern. I think it's at least the same color scheme, the black and white.
Well, I mean,
yeah. Listen, I'm not denying it might be a reach. There's plenty of reaching going on here.
Yes. And like I said, I mean, some out there have dedicated their entire weeks, months to this and broken everything down. And again, when you listen to them, you're like, they might fucking be right. Like, you know, it sounds pretty reasonable.
Everybody loves a good conspiracy theory.
I wouldn't say everybody, but I get where you're going with it. Some more than others.
Right.
But what was I going to say? So, yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of reaching going on. Like, I thought the leg thing and comparing the Hangman to Alexa because she was limping.
Mm-hmm.
Reach a little bit.
But that's what makes this fun.
Absolutely.
This has been sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, this has been the one thing that's gotten you super excited for like SmackDown. Like, it's nice to feel excited about watching WWE's product again.
Yeah, I'm actually a grown-ass man who's eager to watch wrestling on Friday night. I mean, I'm eager to see it. Like, dude, you sang 3 words of that song, and literally I was like, oh shit, goosebumps. That's ridiculous. Even on Monday when it was like, what's this QR code? And then it was like, this is what it is. And then the minute, if you've been paying attention, you saw the "you did," and you're like, oh, I know where we're going with this. Like, you saw the font and you kind of saw the approach and you were like, okay, what does it mean? So, I mean, it's been exciting. And I mean, a lot of people have talked about it. It dominated the headlines for 2.5 days. Grand Slam put a little bit of dent in that momentum, mostly Saraya, Miss Paige. Big moment for those who don't know. Spoiler, she's now All Elite. But yeah, I mean, that's been talked about more than Moxley. That's been talked about more than the 2 things most talked about today, from what I could see, and guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Paige, Chris Jericho.
Yep.
That was the 2 biggest things that people and acclaimed third close.
Right. That's the thing. That's why I think we talked about that even last night. And I guess if we're going to touch on it real quick, of that Moxley winning the belt again for the 3rd time felt flat. What they did with MJF felt flat. So they had a good chance to steal the headlines of knowing at least something big's coming from WWE on SmackDown. So you might as well get ahead of it. And they gave us a half-hearted punch, I feel.
Now, some would argue that they're holding their saving
it to the best.
Right, they're saving it. They don't want to blow their wad too quick, and I just felt like this was a big week, right? And they were pushing that way, right? Like, I don't know. I just felt like it could have been a more exciting. I don't necessarily believe that he had to cash in like Money in the Bank and win. I think it would have been real cool if the show went off the air and MJF was standing on the top turnbuckle with the belt above his head. I think that would have been a real crazy moment, and it would have dominated the headlines today, tomorrow, up until about Bray. I don't think.
Yeah, it would have competed with Bray. It would have at least been, on like the top 5 stories at least.
Yeah, especially when he starts doing interviews and stuff about it. Sheesh.
Oh, and we heard that pop that he had at Grand Slam. If that was the first time you heard that was him coming out to win the belt, the place comes unglued. You're able to overcome that Saraya pop of her return, I feel.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, honestly. And again, I highly enjoyed the show. I just think it was like little things. MJF doesn't have to win that belt. MJF just has to literally be a threat to do it. You have to believe he might do it. All the fans thought, I don't want to speak for all of you.
We wanted it.
There was a lot of push for that. And I mean, on one hand, I was critical about the tag teams because I felt you gave the fans exactly what you want. You spoon-fed it.
Mm.
Now here on the other hand, you didn't give the fans what they wanted. So, I mean, I get it. Can't win with me either, apparently. But I mean, it's interesting. I thought there was a big opportunity here. Even if MJF came down and him and Moxley were standing nose to nose at the end of it. Like, oh, shit. Here we go.
Right. Yeah. We had to go all the way to where he's sitting up in the upper nosebleeds in a suite. And people are having to guess. Maybe it's a hologram that he's up there.
Right? Please be a hologram.
Like, that's the level of people were like, just please give us MJF.
Right. Victor, I just wish they weren't called the Brawling Brutes. What did you say about the Brawling Brutes? Does anyone see the Usos dropping the tag team belts to the Brawling Brutes tomorrow night? No.
Nope.
They are kind of like, I mean, they're doing all right. The Brawling Brutes are slowly getting over.
I could see them involved at War Games.
Yeah. And I know you talked about a triple threat Wars game. Sounds a lot, but I mean, what,
They've done it in NXT.
3 teams of 4.
3 teams of 3.
3 teams of 3.
You get Walter, Ludwig, Giovanni.
I'm excited.
And then you get Sheamus, Dunn or Butch, and Ridge. And then maybe you get Solo, Jay, and Sammy. Jimmy gives up his spot to Sammy. And Sammy's the one that cost them the match. And then that's where you finally get the true crack. Because I feel like Jimmy's so tight with Sammy and they do that little play and they've got a handshake and everything. That's got to be the final thing that breaks.
It doesn't sound terrible. It doesn't, and not at all. I mean, a lot of moving parts. I mean, that's not a bad overall idea as far as how to get into it, how to get out of it, and how to make it make sense. Right. It works. I mean, you put it together as far as it's a nice arch to that story.
You have
okay with it.
Yeah, you have the tie-ins of Sheamus and Gunther going for the IC title of that. Maybe you make it in winner takes all for the IC and the tag belts. Be an interesting way if you were going to potentially get the tag belts off of the Usos, but it'd be a weird time to do it at Survivor Series, but it's an interesting concept. I'm just happy we're going to get War Games. We're getting 2, a men's and a women's.
Yeah, no, I'm extremely excited about that. I mean, I keep saying I mean. Is that a new thing tonight? There's just the vitamins making me say I mean. Nonetheless, I thought Imperium was a good shot, right? And I also thought that possibly, not giving us Bray yet. And if we were in the middle of a heated War Games between Imperium and the Bloodline, they would have to, Imperium would have to go get Wolf or somebody to fill it out. But I think if you really got to that point where they're battling, we get down to the final, we get down to the end, there's, someone's going to win and everything goes black and you all of a sudden feed your head, oh, shit. And there's Wyatt Six takes out everybody at the top of the chart. And that is emphatic. Do I think I'll get that? No, but I kind of want a big paintbrush moment. Like I said, the same thing. Even if Bray came back at the Rumble, I wanted like lights out and everybody at the ring gets fucking like chucked over in the dark. And when lights come back on, he's there by himself. Like I want that type of moment with this.
Yeah, well, that's I guess another question I could ask of. Do we think on SmackDown, do we get just another hint or do we get Bray? Because I do like that idea that you said of to where everybody pops up and just they decimate everybody that's around. They go that full like NWO, like you talked about. They destroy everything. They destroy the ring. They destroy everything.
You know what it should be? It should almost be like a scene of The Purge, right? Where this group just comes in and just lays waste to everybody. And there's not a word. Maybe they even beat up the commentary. Like just nothing. Silence. Go off the air and just shock and awe.
the audio cuts out and then just there's no send off.
Nothing,
There's no
static,
little thing in
maybe.
the back. Just it goes to
Yeah.
black.
Right?
That would be cool.
Right? Just fucking that face behind me looking at the camera. We'll see. Now, I think the 23rd is a teaser. I don't think we're getting the answer on the 23rd. I want the answer on the 23rd.
No, I think it's still.
You gotta stop playing with my emotions.
Yeah, well, there's still legs to this. You can still keep going. Your people are hooked in, so you can still drag this out a bit.
That's the craziest part of all this, because, like I said, other wrestlers people would have given up on, right? Like, really, it's crazy. I say no to that, Victor. Victor Nash, Usos retain tomorrow night. I kind of leaning towards Dale on this one for sure.
Yeah, I think we already touched on that. I think we're both going for the Usos.
Dale gets a thumbs up. It's a polite way of saying, shut up, Dale. Nah. Victor, I just wish they weren't called the Brawling Brutes. I mean, it is what it is. Is it that bad?
It's distracting.
That's a good way to put it. I guess, right? They don't want to sploosh all over just yet. Yes, Anthony. That sentiment is accurate. I mean, it's right now it's about timing. And again, you can't hot shot everything. You can't push everything the same way over and over. It's got to have some spread to it. It's got to have a nice spread.
Yeah, you need a smorgasbord of wrestling, to quote.
No, you don't. No, you don't. It's the dumbest shit ever.
It was a ridiculous statement by Kenny, and I like Kenny. But yeah, no, they, like we were saying, they've got some legs to this. So I think if 923 at 923, just it's another fan walks by with a sign that's got a QR code on it, and it goes to another whole thing.
How crazy a fan with a sign? Like kudos.
Right.
For a company that's been infamously bland and boring for about 7-8 years, maybe.
Yeah, it was a fan
with a couple exceptions. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it was a fan with a sign, and it was just a QR code on a weight rack behind Austin Theory.
Right. Boop. Like what? The hell? But they're being cute about it because people missed it. I mean, you saw the QR code. I was talking to the camera. People out there are on their phones. People are watching us. People are watching whatever, just listening to it sometimes. So then all of a sudden they're like, wait, what did I miss? Nobody talked about it. It's not like commentary. It's not like Graves said, what's that sign in the crowd? Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, Graves didn't come out with, fans got an interesting sign in the crowd. No, they did nothing to draw attention to it. Just you had to be paying attention, I guess.
You had to be paying attention. Quick question. I saw an interview going around, and anybody can correct me if I'm misquoting or if I'm inaccurate or if I don't have the right context, because, things get busy. Ronda Rousey was asked, who do you think the White Rabbit is? And she was like, well, I think it's Bray. I'm paraphrasing. Yes. Is that surprising to you?
That's actually, I'm surprised you brought that up, because I was going to mention that.
Well, it's Rumble. We got to talk about it.
Yeah. So she was giving her 2 cents on the matter. I'm quoting Wrestling Inc. right now. I'm reading their article. Ronda Rousey has also given her 2 cents on the matter, as she explained during the latest episode of The Baddest Stream. Quote, we all have our theories about what it means, but I like to think it's Bray Wyatt's coming back. We'll see. So if someone that's in the company is throwing out suggestions like that, and someone that's supposed to be very much the corporate person, because they obviously WWE sees a lot in Ronda and that star power and that potential, she's not going to just throw that out there and not.
No, I think she just threw it out there. I think, dude, I could vividly imagine like Triple H or Steph or someone being like, she said what? Wait, what? Or Bray sitting at home being like, oh, fuck.
No, Hunter's just sitting there rolling his eyes. It's just like, she said, what now?
Steph, you really like this woman? What are we doing?
Right. Do we have to? How long did we sign her for? How much are we paying her?
Shit. No, that's what it felt like. And I mean, generally the rule of thumb for any superstar when asked about other people's storylines and such is just be like, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. I'm paying attention. But to be like, I think it might be Bray. We're like, wait, if anybody should know, it's you and your co-workers. Like, what the fuck?
But maybe they don't know. It is still, this could be something that they're playing very close to the vest and everything. And maybe they don't mind that she's throwing out something like a Bray Wyatt because everybody's already thinking that. And now you have someone from within WWE saying that. Now it's almost just confirmed it.
Fat Walter, yes, please. Sorry. Yes, no, for her to confirm, like, it wasn't, again, she threw it off the hip of like, I don't know, but I think, but people are going to go, you work there. What the fuck?
Right. You're involved on SmackDown. You probably know at least what's supposed to happen on that show. You're supposed to be there.
Right. I'm surprised she knows enough about SmackDown to even know who Bray Wyatt is.
Oh, shots fired, folks.
Shots fired. What's up, Jake? Just in case. Folks, I know we might be missing some of these, but if it was really important to you, just resend it. Quickly, what I want to ask, because you keep touching on it, but you recently touched on the fact that people are Ronda, for example, is like, oh, it could be Bray. If it's not Bray, and I'll let the chat. I mean, we got a good amount of people tuning in. What do you guys feel is a possible or acceptable? Oh, that's the tough one. Who do you think it could be if it's not Bray? Like you said, it's really weird for it to be Karrion Kross because he's already running his promos and stuff. For him to kind of reset and start doing a new set of promos and reintroduce himself doesn't make sense.
Right. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Bunny. That's a little weird. Yeah, we don't need B Rabbit Karrion Kross, but the acceptable line there is what I take umbrage with. If I don't think that there's going to be anything that's acceptable outside of Bray Wyatt, I feel like there were other people initially that they could have thought of, or that people thought it might be outside of Kross. I don't see how there's anyone that, if it's not Bray, it isn't a letdown.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I felt about the Edge situation.
Fair enough.
And I know you were like, well, if you would have listened to me, dumb fuck.
No.
No, but the thing is, dude, I mean, that's how I felt when Edge came out and all that changed, all that we got for all those those vignettes were cool. We can all agree the vignettes were cool.
Right.
Not knowing what the outcome was, we were all doing the same thing. Man, I was watching in slow motion. And again, some of our contemporaries out there dedicated entire chunks of their channel. They just forgot about all the other wrestling and started producing, CSI videos based on Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, just frame by frame. And then over here, people went out and bought telestrators so they could sit there and just pull that up.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a crazy part of all this. And I completely forgot where I was going with that. But
no, you're all good. I want to throw out some other potential names.
Yeah, let's get back to that.
So some people initially thought it could be tied into Charlotte with the, Queen of Hearts and all of that. She kind of towards the end of before she took a break, she had, the Cruella DeVille style gimmick and everything going on. Go ahead.
Dude, I instantly thought there will be murder. It will not go well. But
that's looking at everything now. I'm saying initially when you just got the song.
When you just had the song and yeah, okay, if you're connecting it to Alice in Wonderland and we're all thinking it's Alice and the Bunny, but it's actually the Queen of Hearts. Yeah. No. But
no, I think that
that lady's a heat magnet, Nick. If you want to see this lady achieve next level heat, let her be the Bunny. And only the Bunny, like nothing else.
Oh God. It's just Hunter announcing that he signed the Bunny from AEW. She's just gonna come out in white instead of black with the bunny ears.
That's what this is all for. The butcher.
Right. It's like how when they got Cody, they just got to do a big pomp and circumstance for anyone they get from AEW.
It's Butcher, Bunny, and the Blade back at it. That's what this is what it's been for. The Butcher and the Blade.
What if they're part of the Wyatt Six?
Ah, that was amazing. I saw the light bulb ding. Butcher, is he still under contract with them or did he step? I know he leaves a lot because of but Blade's not there anymore, I do not believe.
Depends on their contract, because that's the thing. Like you said, he obviously had not a firm, solid contract because he was doing stuff with his band. Granted, they've split up, but so maybe
they
Tony
butchered it.
Stop texting him, and just now he stops texting Tony back and just, sorry, I showed up here.
Bray, the Butcher, the Blade,
and the Bunny.
Braun, the Bunny. That's a lot of B's. Loomis doesn't fit now. He's a D.
Oh, we got to keep a theme here. I mean, I broke up the whole J thing that we had going on the channel.
This is how this happens: is you enjoy some vitamins and you start talking about wrestling.
You got to get alliteration going now.
So, Bo, Braun, Blade, Butcher, Bunny.
B team, go.
That's not fair.
You did that.
That's funny as shit.
Now I'm interested.
There you go.
Which sold you? All the B's, the B alliteration, or my theme song?
Is there a wrestler who has a birthday on 9/23?
I don't.
We can look that up.
I'm about to do that. Actually, I was trying.
General John and Wallace. I like solid name. Anthony says with a young talent that's in the performance center as a heavy for the group. Well, let's hear. Here's a shot. What about the people that surmise that it's going to be Gacy and Schism and Skiz in my
I think that would fully cement that man, and no disrespect to Joe Gacy, but that would fully cement that man as their version of Bray Wyatt, their Bray Wyatt light, if it's them that come out.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I don't like it. I don't think Gacy is that. I don't know. I mean, they'd have to do something better with him. If he's still walking around smiling, I would anticipate that the Eater of Worlds slap him a couple times and try and fix this out. Another very important name, Mr. Redbeard, Eric Rowan. A big fan of Eric.
I could see Gacy being involved. I thought you were saying about if Gacy comes out at 9:23 on 9.
No, listen, if Gacy's the White Rabbit, and this all ties back to some Gacy faction, again, people, I don't even think they'll riot on that one. They'll just be too busy throwing up.
They'll just get up and politely leave.
Right. Like
in a nice, orderly fashion. We're done here.
Yeah, I think we're done here.
Sir.
Yeah, I think we're done here.
We've already got the smiley face. Do we need, and the lady in the red hood and all of that? Right. Do we need the White Rabbit too? So to answer the question on if there are any wrestlers that have a birthday on 9/23, there is Matt Hardy. Interesting. Kairi Sane. I don't think she'd be into all of this darkness. And Angel Garza. Lord, please no.
Yeah, sorry. Lord, did you say Garza?
Yes. So the three are Matt Hardy. So we could get broken Matt Hardy potentially showing up.
No.
Might be a bit of a reach.
No.
We've got Kairi Sane.
No.
I don't think she'd be involved in this.
Where did you get the suggestion from?
I'm reading off wrestlers who have a birthday on 9/23.
Oh, okay. I was like, where are these coming from? Like, who even thought of this?
No.
Okay, so
we had that question, so I was just answering, and the last one's Angel Garza.
Could you imagine it was Angel Garza? Los Lobos.
Los Lotharios just comes out. We bought you a nice rabbit. No.
No, Carrie said no, Kyrie doesn't cut it.
No.
So yeah, we're back to Bray.
So that's I guess a conspiracy theory we can debunk right now.
What if it was like at 9:23, like an actual rabbit just kind of hops down the aisleway and hops, and then goes away? Like it just it goes under the ring or something, and then we go to commercial.
And you'll still have people that'll run with it and just be like, "Did you see the way? What species of rabbit was that?
His ear was slightly shaped like a bee."
Right. Did you see the way its tail was? The tail's got to have a clue in it.
Yeah. Somebody was trying to tie in the 923 to Bray Wyatt to the B and the W.
I did a little bit of Steiner math with that one, I guess. To me, I was looking at the 23 and looked at the second and third letter of the alphabet, which would be BC, and I was thinking of budget cuts, obviously where Mr. Wyatt was released, and we got this whole, started. I know it's a reach. I said
that was a solid, bro.
Because I would even got to, again, vitamins helped.
Just a little bit outside.
You take the 6 and then you just turn that over and it's a 9. There you go. Like I said, I know it's a reach and a half.
Pause. Thank you, folks. You caught it too. I bet you did. Anyway, what are we turning over?
The 6
becomes a B, a 9. Oh,
for the Wyatt 6.
Oh, now that's a reach.
I know it was.
9 plus 2 is 11. 11 plus 3 is 14.
Right, Steiner math. You got a 33.3% chance that it's someone besides Bray Wyatt. Papa Paul.
Right. I mean, it can be funny if it was Gable Stevenson. Well, how funny? Define funny on this one. Funny how? Funny how?
Right. Right. Funny haha. Am I funny to you? Am I funny like a clown? I feel like I'm turning into Joe Pesci with it.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if that's funny. I don't know how we tie it back to them, General.
No, that's only if you want to watch the world burn.
This get deep. I like it. This would be hilarious. What happened with the Wyatt 7? Now we added a person.
Oh,
is people that finished their contracts with AEW from the Dark Order. That would be the middle finger. Ooh, like Grayson.
If we got Stu Grayson and no, I don't think.
Your face killed me. Like we just made you eat like a food you don't like. No.
Well, it's one of those of just I don't feel like anyone from WWE is gonna really get who those guys are. It just be
maybe they don't have to though. If you had like Rowan, Grayson, who's not there anymore? What's his face?
We get Colt Cabanas, the one who comes out as a white rabbit.
What's his face is like Cody, one of Cody's best friends, number 10.
Oh yeah, Preston Vance,
Lance. Man, I can keep all these answers in order.
What?
Dark Order. Yeah, I think they're going to avoid the comparable. I know I'm kind of having fun with it now because we're just kind of playing that fantasy book game. But I think they would avoid. I mean, could they pick up like someone like a Stu Grayson? Like Stu Grayson versus Tommaso Ciampa? I'm in.
Right. But,
I mean, Stewie can go.
I don't think we get the Dark Order showing up around Bray Wyatt.
No. They already fucked up Adam Page's career.
Yeah. and peripherally CM Punk's career as well.
And then kind of fucked up CM Punk too.
Right.
I think Triple H should sign Colt Cabana and let him drop a pipe bomb.
Oh, well, did you see now? No, goddamn.
Victor made a comment about Punk. If we want to take we can take a little tangent here. It is Let's Rumble. I know I gave Anthony shit earlier, but he started too early.
Right. 2 out of the gate.
White Rabbit is Eminem. That's what at 9:23 Eminem breaks out in concert.
Now all of a sudden you just start hearing, you better lose yourself.
Let's go.
Someone's gonna be eating mob spaghetti at 9:23 on SmackDown.
Yeah. Right. Dale says it looks like AEW is done with CM Punk. I don't think so. I think
we got 8 minutes we got 8 months for them to work it out. So I think saying anything at this point is reaching to conclusions.
A little bit. And I think I could definitely see the locker room like a Moxley, Jericho, and not maliciously in the sense of, and maybe to a point of like, no, fuck him. But kind of like that's kind of what we felt at Grand Slam, where you almost rewarded Jericho for what he did. You know what, Jericho, skip your vacation. We need you. Shit's fucked up. Help us. And he showed his loyalty. He's been giving his little rah-rah leader speeches, even if some of them are a little contrived. And Moxley did the same, and he was rewarded. So for me, maybe that is the sentiment of like, look, we know it's CM Punk. We know you get views with him, we know you love him, but we're better without him. It's like that team that has the arrogant superstar. So
Right.
yeah, you have that superstar player, but he doesn't gel with anybody, so the team's shit. And they're like, we're better as a team without that guy. That's a possibility. Not even a rumor. I don't even think that's a reach.
Oh no, that's very much, I would agree with that. Unfortunately, with this team, they've got 4 of them, and 3 of them were holding executive vice president positions with the company. But I think honestly, you could see, and we've talked about it, of they almost don't need all 4 of them, because you still get.
Oh, you're gonna try and save Kenny on this one?
No.
Oh,
I think Kenny. Well, you even have people, when Kenny showed up with his tactical turtleneck after 9 months away from the company, you still had, what was it, 200,000 plus people tune out.
That's crazy,
right? And he's the best bout machine. I won't ever deny what the man does in the ring and everything, but in that environment now, I say that now, but
what have you done for me lately?
That man in that environment, just, they don't need him. You even heard Moxley, or I don't know if you heard it, Moxley, after they went off the air on Grand Slam, went on about how this belt doesn't define me, I define this belt, and went into how pretty much the whole company is about blood, sweat, and tears and everything. I think it's very much like you said, of there's now this groundswell of new backstage leadership. They've got their own Undertaker, I guess, how Undertaker would rule the locker room, even if he wasn't always in the top storyline.
Jon Moxley has become the face of AEW, period.
Yes.
Whether we like it or not, and I will say for the most part I like it. I've been very critical of John, where I felt like we were getting way too much of the same shit over the, like he was the polar opposite of Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy's mellow way too much. He's got to find another gear. He's got to find an angry moment or a hangry moment. Apparently, I need to eat. He needs to find, another gear. We talk about it with Belair. Same thing. She's too, like, you're going to a grudge match. You hate the woman in the ring, and you're smiling and skipping. Right? So, and then Moxley's the other side of that coin, where it didn't matter what the scenario was. He was just screaming and yelling gibberish at the camera. Right? And even when they put him with the BCC, it even looked that much more out of place, because, you got Regal and you got Bryan, and they're very, savvy and methodical with how they deliver what they're saying. And then John leans in and is like, I'm going to drink your blood. And you're like, oh, dude, pull it back. This Moxley, authentic Moxley with pride in what the belt means to him and such, people can get behind that because there's that connection there. So,
yeah, absolutely. I think that he has, like you said, he's become the face of AEW, regardless of, he's the top guy in AEW at this point.
Sorry, I got to read this one first.
No, you're good.
KJ, your backgrounds and border, I admit, I don't do drugs. I don't do drugs, but it makes me feel like I'm on acid or LSD. It's very trippy. I will admit, I do. No, I'm just kidding. I do some stiffs. No, I will admit, I'm definitely having some visual trouble with some of the checker that's going on around here.
Oh, yeah, if you do the right vitamins, folks, you need to have the right vitamins in your system to board this ride.
Dude, every time I move, and I like, when I talk, my head wobbles like I'm D-Lo and my hands are going. But that movement, I'm like, ooh, I'm going to get
nah, I'm fine with. Well, that's the thing, is that's what part of, even with the whole, because I've gone as far as watching videos that break down the song of Jefferson Airplane, if we're going to go back to that.
Yeah, that's too far.
I've gone to where they went note by note and everything like that.
Oh, okay.
To me, to where it's,
like,
well, the whole song's about being trippy and all of that, and
yes,
it's meant
the whole
to be
fucking story is.
What? Yeah, I said it's meant to be disorienting. So I think that's what's great about this, is it makes you constantly throw you off and make you second guess. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. It's I mean, the whole story is about a girl who ate mushrooms, right? Like, that's the premise here. She ate some more, got bigger. We've all had kind of good times. But yes, definitely a very trippy background. I do like what they're doing with the imagery and stuff. I have fun, with the thumbnails, kind of playing around, because it's something new. It's exciting. It's different. I mean, the whole vibe of it, again, very thought out, very methodical. The man's been sitting at home for a while, and I'm sure he was very adamant on how he envisioned things.
Right.
I
was just going to say, I think too, with Hunter in charge of this, he's going to let him do what he wants with it.
Right. Dominic Mysterio.
No. Yep, he's a wrestler.
Yeah, he shouldn't be involved in Bray Wyatt's situation at all unless it's under his boot. Wendy Chu. Bring her back. Bring her back. She's Sister Abigail.
Well, I was going to say, do we need to go back and see if she had like white like bunny rabbits on her pajamas on NXT?
Oh, shit. She probably did too.
No, I think she had mint chocolate chip ice cream.
That is actually, wow, look at you. Remember this man. No, KJ. And on July 24th, she was.
I don't say Rolodex of wrestling for a reason.
We got that one. We got that one. Y'all just dove down the rabbit hole. Like, that's what we came on to do. We didn't know how long we were going to be here tonight or what we were going to talk about. Well, we knew what we were going to talk about, but where the conversation was going to go. And rabbit hole it is.
Yeah, we kind of just literally went down the rabbit hole. I mean, see, I got it right there.
Right. There's the rabbit too. What if it's a repackaged Cody Rhodes? It wouldn't make sense.
No, I think Cody's already struggling enough with the whole fact that Hunter's come out and said that they're not going to use blood, that they don't need to do that. Cody's like, well, I don't know how to end a match now.
I will say this. Triple H saying that there's no need for it doesn't mean it won't happen. Right. I think there's a two. That doesn't mean. I think that's going back to the concept of Cody's in a match with Roman. Say Cody's build is the big underdog, came back from a purple peck. I didn't call it what I usually do, but comes back from a purple peck, and he's trying to live his father's dream, and he's gonna beat Roman. They get in this big match, and somewhere along the lines he takes a chair shot, or maybe it's in. I think when someone bleeds, we're gonna go, oh shit, that's not supposed to happen. Right. Opposed to, oh, it's fucking Moxley bleeding again. Did he sneeze?
Yeah. Did someone run near Moxley?
Wind changed direction, folks.
Yeah. Blade of grass went by and just gushed real hard.
Right.
But no,
I think that's part of this.
Oh, yeah. It very much makes it seem more realistic and more authentic if it's not every match to where someone's gushing.
Well, if he comes out and says, well, we're a big fan of bleeding, and I think we're going to bleed a lot. I think a lot of our matches are going to involve blood. I think almost on a weekly basis, someone expects somebody to bleed. Well, you're just kayfabing just blowing your kayfabe right out your nose.
Right.
And that's a big nose to blow it out of. And in addition to that, you are literally taking, now we expect blood. And that's what we've done. We've done that with AEW, where it's like, okay, what gimmick are we getting tonight? Who's in an ODQ? What type of, over-the-top shit are we going to see? Who's going to be bleeding to death on Wednesday night? And we actually got a couple matches without blood for Moxley, and we like him a lot better.
Yeah, and like to your point of what else is he supposed to say? Like you said, is he going to come out there and say, everybody's we're going to hand out razor blades to all the rest of this?
Yeah, we just ordered tons. We got tons. We got a bunch of bags of blood.
Every ref's going to have gloves. Every match.
That's
the new thing in WWE's. Every match is a first blood match now.
We got IV drips ready for when they get back. We can replenish them. We're going to be just bleeding everywhere. No, he has to say exactly what he said, especially as a corporate guy. No, we don't need blood. No. And then, Wyatt walks out and takes a chunk out of somebody and there's blood. And you're like, holy fuck.
Right.
Right? The first time. And Cody will probably be the first one to bleed since this statement was made.
At the Rumble?
Well, I can't say that because a lot of accidental blood going on in the wrestling world nowadays.
But I think, though, that's still what, like you said, it makes it seem serious. So if someone comes up and they're just kind of bleeding from their lip or something, or they've got a bloody nose, that's more believable than all of a sudden they take a clothesline and they come up and all of a sudden they've got a crimson mask on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Sorry, Nick. I'm jumping again.
But I think that might be everything that have we hit on everything?
That's a lot of what we've talked about. I guess last but not least, Bray comes back. on the 23rd or some other time. What's up, Jocko? How you doing? Greg, Boss Monster, Chris. I'm calling it right now. Bailey is going to beat Belair on Raw Women's Championship at Extreme Rules. Oh, actually, I got one more thing to mention. And I know we kind of touched on it, but I had a visual aid, so screw it. All right. So up above Riddle, a lot of people talking about the fireflies, seemingly fireflies, and a lantern. Apparently, that was there the whole time, but nobody really noticed until now they did.
Well, that's the thing is, even with this stuff that we've gone back through, is all of this stuff's been there, and just now all the dots start to connect together. I think that one might be a little bit of a reach to me, but I don't think it's a bad shout of if he shows up, if we actually get Bray, him showing up and destroying a match at Extreme Rules would be a good fit.
Like him just showing up and dusting, I think that's the way to do it. You got to make an impact. Right. So maybe it's a case of, I don't know, man. Like it really, to me, he's got to be at the top of the mountain, and he's got to. I really do like the idea of holding him off for Survivor Series. I really, really do.
Fair enough. Like I said, I think that more just plays into the whole city, vibe that they were going with, the whole look of the poster. So it might be a little reachy, but I see where people are going with it.
I mean, it's valid. I mean, when you connect the dots and like why else would they go out of their way to have a lantern there? They could add any type of thing. Right. I like it though. The speculations are cool. The rumors are cool. What we think about everything, it's got us talking. It's got us, it was the bulk of tonight's show. We made it the theme of tonight's show because everywhere you look, that's what everyone else is doing. It's a consistent, valid argument. We were, on Monday, we were talking about it. On Tuesday, we were talking about it. Here we are, Thursday. We're still talking about it. Tomorrow is 9/23, and we will be back here talking about it. That's what we do. It's like beat up John Cena. We talk about it.
Right. You'll get to see our live reaction to everything. This is the place to be for everything that's going to be going on with it, because we'll be here covering it live.
Yeah. I promise anybody that's ever tuned into a minute of our streams, if you miss the minute Bray Wyatt walks out with me, you're going to regret it. Because I think it's going to, I'm going to not be a mark, right? No, I'm totally going to be a mark.
Something's going to get broke in that apartment.
I think I got to be careful. I got to make sure that my drink isn't too full at the time. It's interesting at this point because you just kind of expect it. But I mean, for me as a fan of wrestling, it's a huge moment. And, I've had my eggs in the Bray basket for quite a while. And it'd be nice to actually, make an omelet out of this motherfucker. So let's go.
Right.
The Rock me. No, they're not, Jacko. Come on. No. Peace. All right. With that being said, that's it. I think tomorrow night is SmackDown. We'll remind everybody real quick. Go to where are we going? We're going. I'll tell you where to go.
Going down the rabbit hole, folks.
That's it. Go to All Wrestling Tees. Check out our personal t-shirts. All Wrestling Tees is doing amazing things. Go check out their whole catalog. Find them on Instagram. Also find them on Redbubble. The link is down below. You have the what t-shirt?
What
t-shirt?
What?
And then you have the Mr. Every Night t-shirt, the one you wear to the bar. You let everybody know how you like to bring your game. And then the one that shuts it all down and has no time for nothing, the Cut the Shit t-shirt for Mr. CJ. Big shout out to our boy CJ, by the way. And folks, we will be back here tomorrow. And at minimum, it's going to be a triple header. We are going to do Victory Road, Impact Wrestling for all the Impact fans. We'll have that on. We're going to be talking about it. It's going to be tricky, but we're going to do it because we do it like nobody else does it. And then we also have SmackDown. We will be here at 9:23. And, little KJ White will be sitting on the edge of his chair like a good little boy, bouncing up and down like, here, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? I don't know what it is. I think it's just going to be another clue. I think it's just going to be a little more breadcrumbs leading to either Extreme Rules. I don't know if they can drag it past Extreme Rules. Like, people are going to get impatient now because they're hitting that peak of excitement.
Yeah, well, if they do give another clue, it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. And then we'll, I guess, maybe have to recalculate from there. Because I feel like a lot of people almost feel like we're going to get him returning tomorrow.
Yeah, but I mean that's part of it where you're like, ooh, 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 ooh. And then it's like, again, another, like maybe Bunny hops across the Titantron and we get another fucking riddle. And then we're like, fuck. And then we got to keep going, right? Like, so it's pick your poison. Like, I mean,
Right.
for the diehards, like we've had multiple chances to give up and go, fuck it, he's never coming back. I don't even care when he does. But then we're like, oh wait, what?
Yeah. Either way, it's going to be it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be can't miss.
Yep. And then of course we got a 2-hour. That's right, 2-hour AEW Rampage tomorrow night. We'll be here live for all three. We'll also be here on the weekend to cover a little more stuff as well. I believe we might do House of Glory, but there's a lot coming your way. Nick and I were just going over the calendar yesterday of pretty much now till Christmas. I bet you better like us because we're not going anywhere.
Right.
And we'll be here all the time. When it gets cold outside, come hang with us. That's it. You got nowhere to be. You might as well come talk wrestling with.
Come inside and hang out with your wrestling buddies.
That's it, man. All right. I'm out of words. I think I'm out of words.
Alrighty.
I got to be out of words. How are you feeling?
I think we've kind of reached our conclusion. We've gone fully down the rabbit hole. Pause.
That's it. We've beat the rabbit to death. Well, folks, like I said, we're here all week long. Like, subscribe, share, let everybody know we're here. Tomorrow night's going to be a ball. Don't miss out. We're going to find out what all these clues mean at some point, but you want to be right here when you do it. We break the news. We give you the live reactions. Don't miss a second. And until tomorrow, Big Nick, we'll see everybody on the flip side. Bye-bye.